श्लोका कौन सा है?
4.29.6.
टेम्पल की साइड पे बोर्डिंग करते हैं।
हरे कृष्णा एवरीबॉडी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी,
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
मैं थोड़ा सिर काट रहा। सखाय इंद्रियागणः ज्ञानं कर्मा च यत्कृतम् सख्यातद्वृत्तया प्राणः पंचवृत्ति यतो रगः सखाय इंद्रियागणः ज्ञानं कर्मा च यत्कृतम् सख्य तद्वृत्तया प्राणः पंचवृत्ति यतो रगः सखाय इंद्रियागणज्ञानम् सखाय इंद्रियागणः ज्ञानं कर्मा च यत्कृतम् सख्यस्तद्वृत्तयः प्राणः पंचवृत्ति यतो रगः सखाय इंद्रियागणः ज्ञानं कर्मा च यत्कृतम् सख्या तद्वृत्तयः प्राणः पंचवृत्ति यतो रगः इंद्रियगणः ज्ञानं कर्मा च यत्कृतम् सख्यः तद्वृत्तयः प्राणः पंचवृत्ति यतो रगः
सखाय इंद्रियगणा ज्ञानं कर्म च यत्कृतं सख्यस्तद्वृत्तय प्राणः पंचवृत्ते यतो रगः
सखाय इंद्रियगणा ज्ञानं कर्म च यत्कृतं सख्यस्तद्वृत्तयः प्राणः पंचवृत्ति यतो रगः
सखायन्द्रियगणा ज्ञानं कर्म च यत्कृतं सख्यस्तद्वितय प्राणः पञ्चवृत्तियतो रगः सखायन्द्रियगणा ज्ञानं कर्म च यत्कृतं सख्यस्तद्वितय प्राणः पञ्चवृत्तियतो रगः.
Online, anybody?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी सखाय इन्द्रियागणा ज्ञानं कर्म च यत्कृतं सत्यास्तद्वृत्तया प्राणः पञ्चवृत्तिर्यतो रगः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी सखा इंद्रिया गणा ज्ञान कर्म च यत्कृतं संख्य तद्विद्या प्राणा पंचवृत्तियतो रगा. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
Okay.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी सत्या प्राणे
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी सखाय इन्द्रिया ज्ञानं कर्म च यत्कृतं सखस्तद्वृत्तया प्राण पञ्चवृत्तिर्यतो रगः. थैंक यू.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम. सखाय इंद्रिय गणाः ज्ञानं कर्म च यत्कृतं सख्यं तत् वृतय प्राणः पंचवृत्ति यथा उरगः.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी सखाय इंद्रियगणा ज्ञानं कर्म च यत्कृतं सख्यत्तद्वृत्य प्राण पंचवृत्ति यथोरग. हरे कृष्ण.
कृष्ण प्रभु जी सखाय इंद्रिया गाना ज्ञानं कर्म च यत्कृतं सख्यस्तद्विताय प्रणः पंचवृत्ति यथो रगः. थैंक यू प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna. We continue. Sakhayaha, the male friends. Indriyaganaha, the senses. Jnanam, knowledge. Karma, activity. Cha, also. Yat kritam, done by the senses. Sakyaha, female friends. Tat, of the senses. Vrittayaha, engagements. Pranaha, life air. Panchavrittihi, having five processes. Yatha, like. Uragaha, the serpent. The five working senses, five senses that acquire knowledge, are all male friends of Puranjani. The living entity is assisted by the senses in acquiring knowledge and in engaging in activity. The engagement of the senses is known as girlfriends, and the serpent, which was described as having five heads, is the life air acting within the five circulatory processes.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी Purport by Divine Grace, Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada की जय. कृष्ण बहिर्मुखा अनभोगा वांचा करे कृष्ण बहिर्मुखा हना हो भोगा वांचा करे निकटस्थ माया तारे जापटिया धरे. प्रेम विवर्ता. Because of his desire to enjoy the material world, the living entity is dressed with the material gross and subtle bodies. Thus, he is given a chance to enjoy the senses. The senses are therefore the instruments for enjoying the material world. Consequently, the senses have been described as friends. Sometimes, because of too much sinful activity, the living entity does not get a material gross body, but hovers over the subtle platform. This is called ghostly life. Because of his not possessing a gross body, he creates a great deal of trouble in his subtle body. Thus, the presence of a ghost is horrible for those who are living in a gross body. as stated in Bhagavad Gita 15.10. Utrukam Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudha nanu pashyanti gnana chakshushaha. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the moods of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. The living entities are merged into the air of life, which acts in different ways for circulation. There is prana, apana, udana, vyana, and samana. And because the life air functions in this fivefold way, it is compared to the five-hooded serpent. The soul passes through the Kundalini chakra like a serpent crawling on the ground. The life air is compared to the Uraga, the serpent. Panchavritti is the desire to satisfy the senses, attracted by the five sense objects, namely form, taste, sound, smell, and touch. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Om Jnanaतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जना शलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषाय शून्यवादी पाशाददेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। सखाय इंद्रिया गणा ज्ञानं कर्मा च यत्कृतं सख्यस्तद्वृत्तया प्राणः पंचवृत्ति यथोरगः। The five working senses, the five senses that require knowledge are all male friends of Puranjani. The living entity is assisted by these senses in acquiring knowledge and engaging in activity. The engagement of senses are known as girlfriends, and the serpent described as the five heads is the life air acting with the five circulatory processes. Hare Krishna, everybody. Audio is clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, your voice is breaking.
Okay, now whatever it is, live with it. I can't do anything.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So today, let us develop on something, Emperor Yoga. You know, this Kundalini, the word is referred here. And somebody went to Srila Prabhupada and they come to Swamiji, what do you speak about Raja Yoga, the Kundalini Yoga? Prabhupada said we are practicing Emperor Yoga. You know, because he said the Raja means the king. Prabhupada said no, above the king is Emperor. And then he quoted the verse, Yoginam api sarvesham. Who knows this verse?
योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः।
Is anybody else?
योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां स मे युक्ततमो मतः।
So here Krishna expresses his decision, because Krishna's opinion is final. Mata means my opinion. So Krishna says, in my opinion, the best is the bhakti yogi, Sadhavan bhajate yo maam, who great faith, they worship me, they are the greatest. So what do we see here? We see that actually Krishna is himself certifying bhakti yoga is the greatest of all the yogas. And if Kundalini yoga is called Raja yoga, bhakti is called Emperor yoga. So in fact, the very, very popular, these terms in the society, because people are in the gross bodily platform. What platform? Gross bodily platform. Therefore they like all this, some kind of pranayama exercises, all that. But actually if you see, there are 8 steps in yoga. Yama, niyama, rules and regulation, do's and don'ts. People have to practice. They do not teach that. Because if they're going to tell the students, these are the rules and regulations, they'll get up and go away. So they don't tell. They mostly teach some asana, some, that also not all. Then they teach some pranayama, some breathing exercises. Then pratyahara, withdrawing ourselves from the external world and start to focus on the Lord in the heart. First thing is withdrawing. Then dharana, dhyana, samadhi, focusing on the Lord and being absorbed in the personal form of the Lord within the heart. So this nobody teaches. A part of the Ashtanga Yoga process is when you are doing dhyana, samadhi on the Lord, then gradually you can make the kundalini rise. But that is automatically, because this is the mechanical process. A devotee practices a spiritual process. He is engaged in service to Krishna. Automatically these things happen. He does not endeavor for that. In the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explains various rules of Ashtanga Yoga. One of them is not indulging in sex. Even in other yoga, this is there. When Prabhupada says in the shloka in the Bhagavad Gita where he talks about ekaki, we should sit alone. How can you even imagine sitting alone in a forest? Today, a little dark is there, we panic in the night. Imagine in the forest somewhere you are sitting alone. Ekaki. Then it is said shaucha dese. That ekadaki should be done in some holy place. So who is ready for this kind of situation? Depending on the food, the roots and other situation there. And following the ashta angas of the yoga. Not go there in the forest and do some exercises. That's only part. What about yama niyama? You have to follow the rules and regulations. And particularly abstinence from sex life. Brahmacharya vrate. This is in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita it is given. All this list is given. Okay, let us go there. Here is the Bhagavad Gita. Here is the chapter 6. See. Yes, Mataji, I'd like to chant the shloka and the meaning.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Bhagavad Gita 6.11 and 12. Shuchau deshe pratishtapya stiram asanam atmanaha natyuchritam nati nicham chailajina kushottaram tatraikagram manah kritva yacchittendriya kriyaha upavishyasane yunjyad yogamatma vishuddhaye. Translation. To practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay krusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, activities and fixing the mind on one point.
So there is so much effort to do these activities which are very easy in Krishna consciousness. It's not that it says you are doing it, but it is easier. You don't have to do all this. What do? You sit down in a place and you try to hear the holy name. They are doing. But here the process is impersonal, a very, very impersonal process. Therefore there is too much of difficulty. In Bhagavad Gita also later Krishna says, Kleshodhikarastesha. There is so much kashta you can see in doing all this activity. Going to a secluded place, sitting on a kusha grass, covering deer skins or soft cloth. Sheets should neither be too high means it is too soft. Just like when you sit on sofa, immediately you feel sleepy. Correct? Too high means too soft. And too hard, therefore we like to have carpet when you are sitting. Correct? If you sit on the floor, it pains. You can sit on carpet, it's good enough. Or little cushion is okay. Sometimes I have seen this much big cushion people sit and particularly in winter time now, people have cap, they have sweater, they have gloves, they have wearing underpants, socks, all that, and then there is a shawl on top of that thing. In particularly North India, even Bangalore is cold. As the people used to do like that, and then they will sit on a thick asana, and then within 30 seconds, deep sleep. So asana should not be too high. If the too comfortable is also not good, and too hard you cannot sit for long. Just like in a bed, your bed should be neither too soft and neither too hard. Okay, very good. So this makes some sense. And then it is said, one attention now is trying to focus, control the mind, and then see what the next verse says. Just showing you what people do not follow.
Bhagavad Gita 13 and 14. Samam kaya shiro grivam dharayan achalam stiraha samprekshya nasikagram swam dishashchanavalokayan prashantatma vigatha bihi brahmachari vrate stitaha manasam yamya machitto yukta asita matparaha.
Yeah.
One should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life.
You see that what others said, we should sit straight. Okay, unmoving. And looking at the tip of the nose, okay. And then what else? That much they do. Okay? And then without fear, because you are alone in a desert, Brahmachari Vrate, you are actually following the strictly no sex life. Very, very important in any spiritual marga. And then what happens? Samyamya controlling, Machitaha. See, do they do Brahmacharya? No. Particularly karmis that I know of, every day they have to have sex. They can't survive without that. Here, Brahmacharya Vrata, you have to follow. Nobody follows. Then what? Machita, you have to put your mind on the Lord. They do not do that. They do not do that. I have never heard any of the so-called yogis, they focus on the Lord at all. They didn't go to the forest. They didn't follow Yama Niyama. They only learned some few asanas. And then they are supposed to follow Brahmacharya and they are supposed to fix the mind on the Lord. They do not do that. And then Matparaha, make me the ultimate goal of life. That is also not there. So what are they following? This is in brief from the Lord Himself. See, suppose you go to somebody's house, you call him, how do I reach you? He says, no. Many people call us, Swamiji, how do you reach a temple? Hey, you look at that Kulai junction, from there you take a road, 600 meter, Dwara will come inside. 1.5 kilometer, a temple will come, correct? That's what we say. We are going to explain, no? Many times you go to meet somebody, you cannot locate him, you call him, hey, how do I reach your house? He'll explain. So Krishna is personally explaining how to reach him. And he is also giving the process of Ashtanga Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. But you see that the process is giving, nobody follows. And when they want to follow that, they find it impossible. It's very difficult, very, very difficult. But no, they do some cut paste, just like you take something and put lot of water, dilute it, and they think something will happen. Nothing happens. You see that Srila Prabhupada is quoting this, did you notice that? See the last line. The principles of yoga system mentioned herein are different from those of the popular so-called yoga societies. It's totally different. So many, even I tell you, so many people have come to Krishna consciousness and they're still fascinated by this Kundalini yoga, yogasanas, all that. Arey Baba, that is for your health if you do. There is nothing spiritual about it. No, there was one person who used to tell me, no, whenever mind is disturbed, I used to practice that I can control my mind. And we know his condition today. He left association, a devotee, some joker he has become. Proper saying very clearly, this is not a practical process for today. It's extremely difficult, not recommended, and the way people are doing is also wrong. Okay? So we can, chalo next.
Bhagavad Gita 6.15 Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasah shantim nirvana paramam matsamstham adhigacchati. Thus, practicing constant control of the body, mind and activities, the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains to the kingdom of God or the abode of Krishna by cessation of material existence.
That this goal doesn't even exist. They don't, Shri Radha Govinda ki, they don't even have an idea that I am doing this to go to the kingdom of God. No. They do all this, some kind of tantra, mantra, some things, and finally I see some blue light, green light, white light, and I become God. This is not what is being explained here. Okay? This is not, it says we get to the kingdom of God to serve Him. Then,
Bhagavad Gita 6.16 Nati ashnatastu yogasti nachaikantam anashnatah nachati swapna shilasya jagrato naiva charjuna. Translation: There is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too less, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough.
TKS is very important. So, eats too much or eats too, what the people do generally, they cannot control their eating. They just keep eating. Yogi and bhogi, what is the principle? Yogi means he takes minimum what is needed to keep the body fit. He is very controlled in what he eats. You can never become fat if you are eating proper quantity. Fat you become when you eat more than you are needing. So he eats what is needed. If you eat more, you will sleep more. Once you get a belly, you have to sleep. It will force you to sleep, because that is how the nature is. Okay? So he doesn't eat too much, doesn't eat too less. Doesn't need sleep too much, doesn't sleep too less. Okay? So this is according to one situation. So now there is a regulation therefore for eating. Now most of the people in the yoga societies, what they do, they have no control on eating whole day, khatram, eating, because for a person who is depressed, eating is the greatest pleasure. Now I've seen some depression cases. There was one boy who used to come, depression case. He used to eat 10 people's food. It is so difficult to see him eating, because they cannot stop that. It's a pleasure. They keep eating a lot. They feel some kind of relief in eating. Shudra. The eating and sleeping is only his two engagements. So, eating should be regulated. Actually we should eat never to fill our stomach. Half stomach should be empty. The Ayurvedic principle is, if just take you have to eat chapati, keep eating. Then you get, now I'm full. Now eat half of that. Eat half of that. And that is the way you ask an Ayurvedic person. If you want, or intelligently you can calculate, I'm not gaining weight, and it is little stomach, half stomach should be empty. Don't never eat to keep yourself fully full. Don't do that. Children's exempted, but adults, because they will run around, they will digest. For us, it becomes charbi, and we die by overeating, nobody dies by undereating. If you eat less, you will become little weak. So suppose you are eating chapati, you have eaten 2. Now you doubt, should I eat third or not? Don't eat. Don't eat. Because you'll not die by undereating, you'll die by overeating. Overeating is dangerous, and we can consider because that food is meant for so many living entities and you consumed it. है ना? भाई मैं रसगुल्ला देखा 10 खा गया, अरे बाबा दूसरा भी तो खा सकता है, उसका भी तो सोचने का नहीं, मैं खाएगा बहुत मजा आ रहा है, 10 का 10 खाएगा. No, we should not do that. है ना? So we should eat as much as it is needed. Little less is better. You will become little weak, but you will not die. Overeating, you will die. That's the Prabhupada explains this principle. So this is also important. Such a small thing, yes, it is a not small thing. Important. Yoga, eating is also important. Okay, then, therefore, in ways to destroy bhakti, atyahara is number one. Then,
Bhagavad Gita 6.18 Yada vinayitam chittam atman evavatishtate nisprihah sarvakamebhyo yukta iti uchyate tada. When the yogi, by the practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, he is said to be well established in yoga.
devoid of all material desires, controlling the mind. There is no question of doing yoga and not controlling the mind. Any yoga, even Ashtanga yoga process which is explained in brief here, controlling mind is very important. Even in Bhakti yoga that you are practicing today, controlling mind is very important. You cannot say, I will think what I like to think. No. Krishna says very clearly in Gita, Manamana, always thinks about me. You have to struggle for that. No. क्या मतलब, what are you, what kind of person are you? You say, I am Bhakti Yogi. You say, अरे Ashtanga Yogi ko he has to control his mind. The Bhakti Yogi, Emperor Yoga you are doing, yes. This is Raja Yoga, King Yoga. We are fortunate to do Emperor Yoga. But still, the certain principles are similar. You have to control your mind. You cannot be lazy in that. See, there is some hard work needed. You want to achieve something, you have to do hard work. What is the hard work? Put your mind on Krishna. But I cannot do. Keep chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare. Keep chanting. That way automatically the mind is fixed on Krishna. Okay? Or keep in activities. But you have to control your mind. Because Krishna's order in Bhagavad Gita is Manamana. Think about me. So you have to control. Not that, oh no, I can think about anything, You cannot do that. Okay? Either Ashtanga Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita 6.19 Yata dipo nivatasto ningate sopama smrita yogina yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. As a lamp in a windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist, whose mind is controlled, remains always steady in his meditation on the transcendental self.
5 seconds. That is the time people are able to hold their attention on anything. Therefore, you see in the online what is popular to TikTok, even in YouTube when they introduce short videos, not more than 5 seconds, 6 seconds. People cannot hold their mind on anything for more than that. So we have to practice. Sit down, hold a book, read for 1 hour, let us see. Control. You cannot sing, I am advancing in yoga without lamp, it does not waver. Similarly, you are doing some service, sometime for hours we have to meditate our mind, doesn't happen. Okay? Always study in meditation of the transcendental self. Yes, next.
Bhagavad Gita 6.22-23 Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyan atmani tushyati sukham atyantikam yattad buddhigrahyam atindriyam vitti yatra na chaivayam stitaschalati tatvatah Yam labdhva cha param labham manyate nadikam tatah yasmin sthito na dukkena guruna pi vichalyate tam vidya dukkha samyoga yogam yoga samagnitam. In the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by the practice of yoga. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind and to relish and rejoice in the self. In the joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in the midst of greatest difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact.
You see that? But there was sadhana to achieve it, no? Not that I think what I want to think, I do what I want to do, I don't make any control on myself, and now I am experiencing boundless triumph. That will not happen. Prabhupada says first deserve, then you desire. You want that situation, you have to be qualified for that. We remember the famous case of Narad Muni where he could hold his attention on the lotus feet of the Lord and got darshan of the Lord. Then what happened? The darshan vanished. So he started crying, "My Lord, I cannot see you." So a voice came, a kuyogi. Narad Muni, you cannot see me now because you are not qualified, you are kuyogi. A bhajan apakwa, your devotion is not mature. So we can also see that we cannot see the Lord because of we are kuyogis, we are bhajan apakwa. I keep quoting this. So similarly, we see that there was some sadhana done to reach, and then he feels when somebody start entering the spiritual realm, he find boundless transcendental happiness, and about gaining that he knows nothing more to be gained. He becomes ekagri. His mind become now happily fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord. He is in a transcendental situation now. Okay? Then, but can be easily used by bhakti yoga instead of this mechanical process of Ashtanga yoga. Yes, next. Sanishchayena yuktavyo.
Bhagavad Gita 6.24 Sa nishchayena yuktavyo yogo anirvinna chetasa sankalpa prabhabhan kamams tyaktva sarvan asheshataha manasaivendriya gramam viniyamya samantataha. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses, all by sights, by the mind.
So we should control our senses very strongly. With determination and faith we have to proceed. We should not be deviated from the path. We should abandon all material desires which have arisen because of our hallucinations. Okay? See, this is also to be practiced, no? No, I'll not do. This is also part of Krishna consciousness. You have to control the mind. You have to draw your senses away from sense object. You have to be determined, Usaha Nishya there. It is also principle of Krishna consciousness. And then?
Bhagavad Gita 6.25 Shanair uparamed bhuddhya dhriti grihitaya atma samstham manha kritva na kinchit api chintayet. Gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else.
So mind is fully enough to come to the spiritual platform.
Bhagavad Gita 6.26 Yato nischalati manas chanchalam asthiram tatastato niyam yattad atmaniva vasham nayet. From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self.
Very good. So we do the chanting. We don't do this empty meditation. We do the chanting, and as the mind is running here and there, bring it back.
Bhagavad Gita 6.27 Prashanta manasam hi enam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shanta rachasam brahma bhutam akalmasham. The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is free from all reactions to past deeds.
So as the mind is fixed upon the Lord, you become more and more purified. Okay, and he starts attaining spiritual happiness. That's the part. Even when you're chanting Hare Krishna, when you attentively chant, the real source of happiness is the sweet holy name. That will reveal. But if you are not putting an effort to attentively hear the holy name, no result will be there.
Bhagavad Gita 6.28 Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahmaspam sparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Thus, the self-control yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service to the Lord.
So Krishna says, therefore, if you practice like that, you will attain transcendental happiness. And then
Bhagavad Gita 6.29 Sarvabhutastamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere.
so Lord is present in everybody's heart, He's present everywhere. He can completely now come to realize, see, we yesterday were discussing the buddhi. Because of meditation, his buddhi has become sharp. Because of refraining from sense object, because of focusing on the Supreme Lord, his intelligence is purified now. And he is able to therefore experience spiritual joy. Okay? And he sees the Lord everywhere. Okay? Then
Bhagavad Gita 6.30 Yo mam pashyasi sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me.
so the sweet relation starts.
Bhagavad Gita 6.31 Sarvabhutastitam yo mam bhajati ekatvam astitaha sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Such a yogi, one who engages in the worshipful service of the Supersoul, knowing that I and the Supersoul are one, remains always in me in all circumstances.
Okay, so the yogi actually gets darshan of the Paramatma feature of the Lord, and there is no difference in Krishna and the Paramatma. Krishna Paramatma, therefore, is say.
Bhagavad Gita 6.32 Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yu arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress, O Arjuna.
Because he's on a social platform, okay, if this happiness, distress, he can see these are material phenomena. Okay, so he doesn't get distracted by that. Okay.
Bhagavad Gita 6.33 Arjuna Uvacha Yo ayam yogasvaya proktaha samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthithim stiram. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and undurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady.
So, see, the result is same achieved in Krishna consciousness. When you are practicing Krishna consciousness yoga, or we call it mantra yoga, result is same. But and many lessons we can get from the Ashtanga yoga, controlling the mind, withdrawing. We can take inspiration for all that. But the Ashtanga yoga is a very weak process, and Bhakti yoga is a very powerful process. We can see that somebody is an Bhakti yoga, he doesn't have to go to forest because it's a weak process. Ashtanga yoga is a very weak process. Lot of rules, regulations. In that, only in that condition we can focus on the Lord. But Bhakti yoga, sitting in the family, surrounded by relatives, even doing a job. Prabhupada said, yeah, no problem, you're doing your job. Somebody said, Srila Prabhupada, how was it I can do it? Prabhupada said, I was doing that. He was also practicing medical business. So, it's such a powerful process that in spite of having so many things in this, we can still focus on the Lord. That's the beauty of this process. In spite of so many. But Ashtanga Yoga is such a weak process, you have to go to the forest, you have to sit alone in a situation, and with the great austerities of body and mind, which is not recommended. Now Arjuna lived in Gurukul. He has stayed in forest in isolation. He knows all this. But he is saying he cannot do this. What is our condition? When he had to shoot that fish in the thing, it was not easy, Swayamvara time. So we have to really concentrate. Test of concentration. He could fight with thousands of warriors at a time, therefore he was called Maharathi. Practically the best warrior at that time. With so many credentials he has. Even Lord Devatas gifted him weapons, Lord Shiva gave him weapon. Such a respectable person, how honest is he? Right? How honest is he? And therefore we can see the people who are jumping around saying, I am doing Raj Yoga, I am doing how much dishonest they are. When Arjuna is honest and truthful, Krishna is saying you should sit down, sit in an isolated place in the forest and meditate upon me. They don't do that. And what are you doing? I am doing Ashtanga Yoga. Anybody, you type on the net, yoga means Ashtanga Yoga for people, correct? They don't know Bhakti Yoga is also yoga. They don't know. Rather they think, rather reverse, they think Bhakti Yoga means something like that. They are not very advanced, some bachchas. We are real advanced doing meditation. But actually they are cheats. If they were honest, like Arjuna, you see, he is so honest. He is such a great person, is it okay? He is such a great person, big assembly of people. Krishna, I cannot do that. Why? I cannot control my mind. See, people are not honest and truthful like Arjuna. Okay? Therefore, people are trying this kind of yoga which are not recommended for Kali Yuga. If Arjuna cannot do it, we should not even think about it.
Bhagavad Gita 6.34 Chanchalam hi manha Krishna pramadhi balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayor iva sudushkaram. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind.
He is openly telling, Krishna, I cannot do it. My mind is uncontrollable. How can I just fix a mind? Therefore, this process of empty meditation, where thinking, directly meditating on the Supreme Lord is not recommended. No? Things the Prabhupada says at the end somewhere. You see. Those who are imitating these yoga systems, different so-called schools and societies, all the complacent are certainly wasting their time. They are completely in ignorance of the desired goal. At the end of the day, they never achieve a desired goal. What is the desired goal? To become a devotee. They never become a devotee of the Lord. They never see the Supreme Lord. This process is not working. And we have seen so many people practicing, spending hours and hours, they remain same. In fact, Srila Prabhupada used to we cannot be just dogmatic and proud of our system. We have to prove by result. Here we have seen people, so many people doing Ashtanga Yoga, judge what the result, they are still attached to all the material things. And here it is people practicing Krishna consciousness. Within a small time, they totally become transcendental. We can see that. Different parts of the world they are coming. What happened to them? They become totally transcendental, given up all big, desires for big material enjoyment. We know the process is working. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada used to say, match my disciples. Because they know the process is working. It is effective. Very people are not achieved anything, these people. Beautiful.
Bhagavad Gita 6.35 Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Grihyate. Lord Shri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment.
By these two things, by suitable practice, abhyasa and vairagya, we can gradually control the mind. This is very important for us in Krishna consciousness. There are many principles which are there. Okay? What we have to do? Now I want to advance in Krishna consciousness. You have to do abhyasa. Sadhana you have to do very nicely. Not only sadhana, also vairagya. You have to keep the senses away from sense object. Not that you light fire and put 10 buckets of water over it. Then it is waste. You will be 100 years in Krishna consciousness, you will not grow. You have no attachment to the Lord developed, still on a mental plane. Okay? But it is possible a suitable practice and detachment. Then
Bhagavad Gita 6.36 Asamyatmatmana yogo dushprapa iti me matihi vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo avaptum upayatah. For those whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult to work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion.
Krishna is warning. Mind is unbridled. If you don't control your mind, not that I am chanting Hare Krishna, you have to also try to control your mind. Self-realization is a joke. Nothing will happen. You will practice spiritual life and it will still be a waste. Those whose mind is controlled, therefore Krishna consciousness means two parts. One side chant Hare Krishna, other side control the mind. But many of the people don't only chant Hare Krishna, they are called sahajiyas. They make it cheap. And there are some people who only try to control the mind, they are the Mayavadis, impersonalists. We have to do both together. We chant Hare Krishna and also control the mind. This is where people make, neophytes make mistake. There is lot of hard work goes on inside. You have to control the mind. No, I can think whatever I want. Then you become cheap devotees. Cheap. Cheap means cheap. Ghatiya means ghatiya. They are not serious devotees, that's all. We can see. They cannot fix. You say do this thing, they cannot fix their mind because they have no capacity to control the mind. They'll always be on mental platform. I like this, I don't like this, I like this.
Bhagavad Gita 6.37 Arjuna Uvacha Ayati Shraddhayopeto Yoga Chalita Manasaha Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhim Kam Gatim Krishna Gacchati. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism?
So Arjuna is clarifying, Krishna, you are insisting I do this Ashtanga Yoga, but what if I fail? Because he is saying I cannot control the mind. Okay, then?
Bhagavad Gita 6.38 Kachinno bhaya vibratash chinnabhram iva nashyati apritishto mahabaho vimudho brahmanapati. O mighty Am Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in any sphere?
Because see, we give up material enjoyment, we came to spiritual life, there also we failed. Na ghar ka na na dhobi ka kutta, na ghar ka na ghat ka. That would be my condition. I left all big material plans, material ambitions, big material sense enjoyment. Now I have taken to service to Krishna. Here also I failed, there also I left there, therefore I failed. So I am nowhere. So sometimes some people who give up everything to practice spiritual life and they are not serious, they are total defeat in every angle. That's what Arjuna is very worried. What is going to happen? Yeah, this is a loser. He will loser in both the material and spiritual space.
Bhagavad Gita 6.39 Etanme samshayam Krishna chittum arhasi asheshatah tvad anyah samsayas yasyat chetanahi upapadyate. This is my doubt, O Krishna, and ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt.
So asking Krishna clarify.
Bhagavad Gita 6.40 Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Partha Naiveha Namutra Vinashastasya Vidyate Nahi Kalyana Krit Kaschid Durgatim Tata Gacchati. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Partha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil.
Okay, so there is auspicious, There is no destruction. Whatever progress you have made, it is a permanent asset with you. So don't worry. There is no loss. Then
Bhagavad Gita 6.41 Papya punya kritam lokan ushitva shashwati samaha shuchinam shrimatam gehe yogo bhrashta abhijayate. The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous person or into a family of rich aristocracy.
Okay, so now Krishna has given an example why there is no loss, because suppose I practice spiritual life, I am a loser, I somehow compromised, I didn't fix my mind, I was not serious in my chanting, I was not serious in my service, these things please to Krishna. And then I could not be admitted to the spiritual world, but Krishna said, doesn't matter, you will get another chance. Milega, supplementary milega, just like college or supplement. Then why get a supplementary? Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says it's like committing suicide. Getting such a wonderful path and not becoming serious is like committing suicide. Okay? But Krishna will give you, but what you will do next life we do not know, but opportunity will be given. You may misuse that opportunity. We see so many people are born to Shuchi Nam, where a pious Brahmana family, so many people are born into rich families. Why the advantage of pious family is that, at house already there is a culture of, to some extent. This is not referring to advanced devotees, but general pious family, Shuchina. Shuchi means Brahmana. Brahmana doesn't mean birth, but house a Brahminical culture is there. And then Srimata means rich. So previously rich person had a temple in his house. Rich person doesn't have to bother about livelihood. So he can focus. Many people doesn't have food, what they will chant. Because so he will in a comfortable position to get another opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness. But he uses or not, it's up to him again. Therefore, don't take supplementary.
Bhagavad Gita 6.42 Athava yoginameva kule bhavati dhimatam etadhi durlabhataram loke janma yadidrusham. Or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in this world.
Very rare, such a birth. Advanced transcendentalists, This is previous of Shuchi, now this is not Shuchi, these are all very advanced transcendentalists. So, taking the birth there, it's very easy now him to go back to God. Just like you may fail by 10%, you may fail by 90%. Okay? So, or you may say 40% pass, so 37% you fail. So you get a situation where you are in a family of very advanced devotees. Krishna is saying such a birth is very rare. That kind of thing is very rare. Then
Bhagavad Gita 6.43 Tatratam buddhi samyogam labate pauradehikam yatate cha tato bhuyaha samsiddha kurunandana. On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success, O son of Kuru.
So Krishna is telling, doesn't matter when he gets another opportunity, he can work sincerely and he remember the taste remains. Suppose in this life, suppose you attentively chant, there is a slight pleasure Krishna will give you in the tongue. Next life, it will continue from there. You will see some devotees are doing kirtana, you sit there, very nice, you feel very nice and you can continue.
Bhagavad Gita 6.44 Purvabhyasena tenaiva riyate hi avashopi saha jignasur api yogasya shabda brahmatmi vartate. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures.
You see how beautiful it is? So, because the taste is already awakened, he automatically becomes attracted. He sees somewhere Sankirtan is going, goes and sits down, and he likes that, That it's not easy to awaken. We have seen so many people, they say, in my family, my brother is there, my husband is not taking interest. But you might have practiced so many lives, he is just a new fellow. Just give him little sukriti, that's all. Some prasadam, make him do some service if he can do. So gradually he will grow. It's not so easy.
Bhagavad Gita 6.45 Prayatnad yatamanastu yogi samshuddha kilbishaha aneka janma samsiddha yato yati param gatim. And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed off all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal.
Now Krishna is saying, so he got another opportunity and he was serious. What happens? He attains the supreme goal.
Bhagavad Gita
Then
6.46 Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi gnanibhyopi mato adhikaha karmibhyaschadhiko yogi tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. A yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empirist, and greater than the fruity worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi.
so yogi is better than just a karmi, he is better who is trying to now focus himself on the Lord. The yogi referred here. But then Krishna clarifies something in the last verse.
Bhagavad Gita 6.47 Yoginamapi sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yukta tamo mataha. And of all yogis, the one who with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself and renders transcendental service to me, is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion.
Okay? Antaha Atmana, so we say we are bhakti yogis, but these things are parts of bhakti yoga. What is there? Madgatena. Always thinking of Krishna, always abiding by Krishna. Anta Atmanaha, thinking about Krishna within ourselves. Shraddhavan, having full faith in Krishna. Bhajate, render service to Krishna. Such a devotee is greatest. We think, I am greatest just because I have a dress of a bhakti yogi. You don't become greatest just because you have a dress. You have to execute bhakti yoga. Shraddhavan, bhajate yomam. Constantly. Bhajan doesn't mean only chanting or kirtan. Bhajan means everything is bhajan. You are worshipping the Lord, that is also bhajan. You are cleaning the temple, that is also bhajan. Everything is bhajan. You are cooking for the Lord, that is also bhajan. Everything connected for the pleasure of the Lord. So when somebody is constantly absorbed in service to the Lord in so many ways, okay, then he is the greatest yogi. Then he is a bhakti yogi. Okay? So we have bhakti yoga, we are getting an opportunity directly to serve the Lord. Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Ashtanga yoga is indirect. The faith is lacking. See why a normal person cannot do bhakti yoga, why he has to do karma? He doesn't have that faith. He lacks the faith. Yes, just I offered this rose to Krishna, that is the greatest thing. Karma yogi is busy with his own plans and fruitive activities in this world, and by the result he serves the Lord. But his desire is material enjoyment. His desire is material enjoyment. And from that some portion he offers to the Lord. Jnana yogi is also desiring not Krishna. Partially from that he is able to offer something to the Lord. And then Ashtanga yogi is also meditating. Okay? And is finally tries to see the Lord, but his focus is not that. He wants some siddhi. So you become bhakti yogi when your focus is to please the Lord. What does it require? Faith. These three people don't have that faith. Karma yogi wants his own enjoyment and he prays to the Lord for blessing for that enjoyment. Jnana yogi wants his own speculation, I am great thing. But for that he also worships the Supreme Lord. Ashtanga yogi also wants some siddhis and all, and for that he meditates on the Lord. Therefore says, Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakale, Ashanta. They are cheats actually. They are really not interested in spiritual advancement. They come for their own some lusty desire. Siddhi, Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakale, Ashanta. They are Ashanta because of their crookedness. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama, because Bhakta of Krishna is genuinely desiring to please the Lord, Ateva Shanta, therefore he is the most peaceful and happiest person. So Bhakti Yogi means happiest person, because he is not crooked, he is not a cheat, he is not doing something for something else. No, he is serving the Lord for the pleasure of the Lord itself. You ask somebody why you are doing puja to Krishna, why you are chanting Hare Krishna? No, for the Lord's pleasure. What is for you? No, I am not thinking about that. Then you become a devotee. Many times we say, I am chanting Hare Krishna, I am feeling very nice today. Huh? You are doing for your own pleasure? You are supposed to do for Krishna's pleasure. Okay? This is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga therefore is very, very pleasing to Krishna, and Krishna becomes conquered by Bhakti Yoga. Huh? Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Krishna is conquered, then he reveals himself to the devotee. So therefore, in practicing Bhakti Yoga, the personal desires should not be there. Okay? Hare Krishna everybody.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sadat Pranam.
Krishna
Prabhuji
Prabhuji,
Pranam.
Prabhuji Dhanwad.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Krishna
Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
You all become
Rama
Ashtanga
Rama,
Yogi. Your
Hare Rama,
meditation
Hare
is on
Rama.
some.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare
It will
Ram,
make you Bhakti Yogi now.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Rama Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Rama.
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna Hare,
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram.
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna,
Pranam.
Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Rama
Ram.
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare Rama.
Krishna.
I answer one question. If Bhakti Yoga is the highest yoga, why did Krishna waste our time at talking about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga? Why does he waste our time? Because Krishna is teaching at the end of Dwapar Yoga. He is teaching for people of Kali Yuga only. Okay? So this is not teach. Why did he waste our time by talking about Ashtanga Yoga when it is not recommended for Kali Yuga? Why does he do that? Anybody?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Because there are varieties of people who are on different levels of consciousness. So to facilitate them, to give them some steps to go ahead. Like, so a person can start with Karma Yoga, then slowly develop into Jnana Yoga, and then come to Bhakti
No,
Yoga.
that is not an answer, because that is not possible in Kali Yuga. Prabhupada said directly, they are simply wasting their time. So there is not that he is telling, okay, you can do this. No. There is no time for doing Ashtanga Yoga. Nobody is going to the forest, no, it's all bogus. Nobody can practice Ashtanga Yoga today. Then why did he mention it? You are saying, no, maybe they can do. You cannot do only Ashtanga Yoga today. Okay, so no, that will not be an answer. Okay, try another answer.
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Prabhuji.
doesn't want to force anyone, Prabhuji. Krishna
Prabhuji,
doesn't
it
want
In
must
to.
Kali
be.
Yuga, Prabhuji, age is so less that we don't have time for all other
Correct.
kinds of.
No, nobody goes to the forest, so this is not practical today. But then why did he mention it all? Prabhupada
Prabhuji,
says in the purport, no, people who are trying Ashtanga Yoga in so-called society is simply wasting their time. But then the question is, why did Krishna mention it at all?
Hare Krishna
Bhakti
Prabhuji.
through Jnana, Prabhuji. Bhakti through Jnana.
People in Kali Yuga, Prabhuji, they are so, cunning kind of mentality they have, that usually they don't accept things which come easily to them. So they always wanted to look for the easiest path. And when they got to understand that it is difficult to follow Ashtanga Yoga, so that is the reason why they are going ahead and considering that Bhakti Yoga is the easiest, because otherwise it is not possible to follow.
So he presented for Arjuna to reject. Huh? ठीक है.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Pranam. So Prabhuji,
Think.
actually, could we,
Think.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So could be like Krishna is setting an example through his devotee that Arjuna being such a great devotee, he is not able to follow the Ashtanga Yoga. So you don't try. Krishna is trying to tell
That is
us.
there in the proper say in the purport. We should not even attempt. Arjuna with such a great qualification rejects. Okay, that is one answer. Okay. See another way if you look
Hare
at it.
Krishna. Hare Krishna,
Then
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, to increase the faith in Bhakti Yoga, Prabhuji.
okay by rejection.
Krishna accepts even to choose for his devotees, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In exam also 4 options are given, no Prabhuji. We have to choose one. Then only.
See, so many ways you can think about it, but think about it deeply. Okay? So many of the answers you said are very wonderful. Okay? So Krishna, Aishwarya Mataji, what do you feel is the reason? Why did Krishna do that? Okay.
May I try, Prabhuji?
What is the answer, Tapas?
What I understand is that it's a comparative study of all the paths to God realization, and at the end, he's establishing the superiority of the Bhakti Yoga across all the 4 paths.
Very good, very good. See, look at the situation. Krishna Itrika Lagna. He knows most of the people today, Kali Yuga will do Ashtanga Yoga only. If he had not mentioned that, what people think, he forgot to talk about it. Correct? Gita is part of the Vedas, but our Krishna, he forgot to talk about. No, he mentions about it. He mentioned. He has Bhagavad Gita summary of the Vedas, so everything will be mentioned there. Okay? That is one part that is mentioned. Another thing is that if you look Bhakti Yoga, these are all within, almost except sitting in the forest, other things were all already within the Bhakti Yoga. See, actual yoga is Bhakti Yoga. When somebody is attached to fruitive mentality, there is actually not following Bhakti Yoga, he is doing Karma Yoga. In fact, most of us today, even as devotees, are doing Karma Yoga. We are not doing Bhakti Yoga. But Karma Yoga means you are still attached to material desires when you are practicing Krishna consciousness, correct? You are actually not Bhakti Yogi, you are a Karma Yogi now. Okay? Because that element is there. Now somebody is practicing Krishna consciousness, but attracted to some siddhis. Actually he is a Ashtanga Yogi. So you're getting my point? It's a ladder. Therefore it's a ladder. And then your Jnana Yoga, you are thinking about the Lord, but you are doing practicing, but you are still attached to some speculation. So you are Jnana Yogi. So by explaining this, just like Sattaguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Now why we have to talk about Sattaguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna? We should talk only about Krishna consciousness, no? True? Why because we are not. We are in Tamoguna. You cannot say, I am chanting Hare Krishna, I don't have to know about gunas. You have to know, because you are still in Tamoguna. You may be having medicine, but you are still in Tamoguna. We can analyze. Correct? We not that, oh, he's chanting Hare Krishna. No, he has taken a medicine. Our mistake is just because we have taken, just like we have seen medical colleges, the first day they wear the white dress. No, do they become doctors just wearing dress on the first day? No. But they think I have become. So we are also in the same conditioning that just because we were tilaka and garland dress, now I become. No. Therefore, Krishna gives you knowledge of Tamoguna, Rajoguna, Sattoguna, so you can understand actually where you are situated. So we may be practicing Krishna consciousness, but there is footing mentality in devotee in the beginning. Therefore, he is not actually practicing pure Bhakti Yoga, or it's called Kanishta Bhakti Yoga, or he is a Karma Yogi. It is Bhakti Yoga. Everything is Bhakti Yoga. But contaminations are making it appear something else. It is looking like, I have seen so many devotees, even after becoming devotees, doing some asana. The contamination is still strong. It doesn't get away. Still strong. I want to some power, I want to control other people's mind. That's all yogi does. They manipulate other people, even though they are practicing Krishna consciousness just for the pleasure of the Lord. Now would exploit others. That's why Jnana Yoga. So these contaminations become visible, and pure Bhakti Yoga is lifted out. That may be one more reason.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Tell me.
Prabhupada would have thought that if Arjuna, a great warrior and a great friend of Krishna,
For he found that process impractical. So certainly it is not possible for the people of Kali Yuga. That is also one of the reasons, no, Prabhuji.
Yeah, among all the credentials of Arjuna, this is most important. Personal friend of the Supreme Lord, and he says, I can't. See how much great is Arjuna. He is honest, correct? And how much greater 99% people today are doing meditation in spiritual life, whoever is doing. How much dishonest they are. Just how much truthful he is. You imagine it's not easy, no? You are a respected person, you say, I can't do it. You know, he's so genuine. He is so straightforward. I can't do it. You know, and honest to himself. He knows I can't control my mind. I can control Krishna. You tell me I will control wind now. Wind I can control. He knew the weapon. Today science doesn't know weapons. He had the Astra knowledge. If you want, I can, Vayu, I can control. But his mind I can't control. He's so honest. Today people are not. I am practicing Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, the first thing in Ashtanga Yoga, we read then brief, is to control. Can you control the mind? So they cannot do it. You know? So that empty yoga doesn't work. But the principle remains. These all the principles of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Strong Yoga are automatically within Bhakti Yoga. They are automatically there within Bhakti Yoga. And there is nothing you are going to miss. You are practicing yoga to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Automatically everything is included. You are meditating on the Lord. You are trying to satisfy the Lord. Automatically Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga are automatically done. And what all benefits you could get by so-called Kundalini rising, everything is there given to you when you practice Krishna consciousness. The last shloka of the 8th chapter. Anybody know the shloka of the 8th chapter? Last shloka?
Vedeshu Sarvesh.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Vedesu yagnesu tapasya
Vedanta.
So, what is the shloka number?
28 Prabhuji. Vedesu
Tatsarvamidam viditva 28 param sthanamupeti chadyam.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Everybody can see that now. So what is the shloka translation is there? Okay. Yeah, read. A person.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode.
You see that how beautiful it is, how beautiful it is. He's saying, so now what we are doing, we are sitting and chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We think that fellow has gone to the forest, we think great tapasya. Don't worry, that result Krishna will give you. Krishna will give you that. You know, at the same time somebody is doing big business, making a lot of money. Don't worry, Krishna will give you everything. Studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing, these are all austerities of Ashtanga Yoga, giving charity, pursuing philosophical, fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotion service, see the beauty, simply by, he attains all this. At the end, he reaches the supreme abode, which is the goal of all the yogas. He easily achieves the goal of reaching the supreme abode. Okay, nice. So something Ashtanga Yoga, you can take the juice out of that. For Bhakti Yoga, because it is part of Bhakti Yoga only in one sense, he is the supreme yoga, emperor yoga. We can take some essence about controlling mind, senses, eating properly, some things we can learn, which is because it is part of Bhakti Yoga for a people who are looking for siddhis. Okay? It's clear? Hare Krishna everybody. Because it's not why I took so much elaborate, I tell you, because we have all been part of this so-called Hindu religion, and this Kundalini Yoga is very, very popular. So therefore I went through that, so that it's somewhere dormant in the heart that did you see that, you go to Kumbh Mela, there are ISKCON devotees who do Harinam every day, nobody looks at them. They're looking at the Naga Babas doing this Ashtanga Yoga. Correct or not? We don't know what they are doing, whether they are doing, but people are, even government gives the number one respect. When they go for bath, everything is stopped. Nobody can even move. They go for bath, they go for bath. Nobody can come at that time. They are the VVIPs. In fact, there's a Kumbh is for them only. We are just there to watch them. That's how it is. And that's the biggest religious event in the world. But nobody even looks at the devotees who are actually, they should be the emperors. These are the emperors. When the emperor goes, king should sit somewhere. But nobody recognizes. You have to give this chapter to all the important leaders so they can read. Okay, Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.